gaan record.
Daar gaat hy.
Okay. Hi, welcome back on episode 18 of Towers. I'm sorry.
Tales from the Towers. Tales from the Towers.
Okay, crop. Hi, welcome back to episode 18 of Tales from the Towers. Once again, Taniva from techCONNECT, joined by Niku, Newmsey, and Arne. Hi, guys.
Hi.
Good to see you guys.
Good to see you guys again. Okay, I want to start with something that I get a lot. People say they're doing a speed test. I also did it myself. And when I did a speed test, when I actually looked where it's going to, because when you do a speed test, it goes to your closest server. But mine went to Mozambique because we're next to Maputo. So I was
What
like,
did you use? Speedtest.net.
yes, it went to Maputo, and then I ended up redirecting it to Joburg. And then people don't understand when I say, don't look at speed test, look at the latency. And I find it difficult to explain to them what's the difference between latency and the speed test.
Okay, so I'm quickly going to jump in and then Nick will take over. Speedtest.net is just wrong. Don't use speedtest.net. Don't use the Google speed test because that's wrong. You need to use fast.com because fast.com actually goes to the servers that are important, and the servers that are important are which ones, Niku?
The ones in Morocco, Netflix servers.
So you want to take that one?
Yeah. So basically, a speed test, right, gives you, if you've got a car going on the highway and guys with a radar gun and he's just measuring the guy's speed that the car's going, in essence, that's what a speed test does, is it checks how fast the car is going currently right now, right? So a speed test would be able to test what's the maximum available bandwidth on your current connection as everything's running right now. So if you've got a Netflix video streaming in the background and you do a speed test and that video is taking 4 to 6 meg maybe, and you're on a 10 meg line, your speed test is only going to show 4 meg. And then people phone and say, oh, but why am I only testing 4 meg? I've got a 10 meg line. So
no, I'm doing one now. Let's see.
Yeah, so speed test only shows what currently is available. What's more important and what we are currently really concentrating on in our network is latency and packet loss. Those are the two most important things. We've spoken at length about latency, but what actually causes latency is packet loss. So if you look at the TCP/IP protocol, sending packets to and from servers, so you are, Newmsey, you sending an email, right? And that email has to get to the client. So that packet has to go out, it has to come back, it has to tell you, yes, the first packet has been delivered, send the next one, send the next one, send the next one. So what happens is if there's, they call it jitter, but that's the combination of latency and packet loss. So if your connection is struggling and that packet is going through and you are losing packets because either on your side or the other side that's receiving is losing packets, you are resending that packet the whole time, and that's what's counting as packet loss. So obviously the more packet loss you have, the higher your latency becomes. And a congested network, so if you are flat tapping your network, your jitter will be higher, your latency will be higher, and your packet loss will be higher. That's in essence what we are with Prosim and all the other tools that we're using that we're trying to minimize. And on the sales side, that's why we ask the questions what the client wants to use the internet for. So having a 4 meg line, but you want to stream 4K Netflix videos, and I know a Netflix video 4K, they say is anything from 20 to 40 meg per second, right?
Yep.
So then obviously a 4 meg line would not be sufficient, and then you would be buffering, you'll have packet loss, a little bit up, a little bit up.
Yes.
Okay. There we go.
So I have a 20 meg line and I'm only getting 7, Because Tabu is downloading a game again.
Isn't he studying?
Should
He's
be.
studying. Mommy's with him now. You'll be studying soon. Trust me. And it went to Mozambique, which is so wrong. So yeah, the packet class is important because if you have a bunch of athletes starting a marathon, and when you measure the athletes that finish the marathon at the end, you don't want like half of them to be gone because something happened to them, and that's not good. So you want all your packets to get through first of all, and then also your latency is like if you have a bottleneck for all those athletes you get through, that's not good. You want all the athletes, all the data packets to get through your network. And that's why the speed test is so wrong. It first of all goes to the wrong server. It doesn't show you the servers that you want to see, the YouTube servers, how fast are they? How fast are our Netflix and our DSTV servers? All of that stuff sitting at Terraco. The only speed test that's kind of accurate going to Terraco is fast.com. And then the second problem is that who is on our network at the moment, like Tabu downloading games, so I'm not getting my full bandwidth. Plus, I'm streaming a conference call here, and that's taking probably from my side a good 4 megs. So yeah, it's not accurate. It's not accurate.
I also read something, if the device is older, it also sometimes makes this, it has an effect on the speed.
Yeah,
I just
we've
want to
got
find out.
most definitely the newer AC and AX equipment, so Wi-Fi 5 and 6 equipment is much quicker. That'll have an effect on the speed. But we're looking at guys with fiber lines that has a 1 gig line. At the moment, our devices can go up to 300 megs. The newer devices can go up to 2 gigs. The newer Wi-Fi devices inside your house.
And then there's something else that clients sometimes don't understand. That they look at all these information that you are getting on your smartphones these days, and then it tells you that you've got a 40 or 70 meg connection to your home router. So from your phone where you're sitting, and then it's showing 70 megs, and then it's saying it's a slow connection. It's an American device. You're sitting with a 4 meg internet connection, and then you've got a 70 meg connection from your phone to your Wi-Fi. So doesn't matter what you do, the fastest the data is going to go to the internet is going to be 4 meg. So having a 60, 70, 100, 300 meg connection from your phone to your internal Wi-Fi router makes no difference.
I know with us techCONNECT, we don't do throttling, but most of the other ISPs, they do throttling, and then they do a speed test, and then all of a sudden the tests are not the same. I just wanted to add that we don't do it. They get the line that they always get.
They naughty. They call it a fair usage policy or a FUP. And the moment
So just our intentions are pure, and we don't badmouth anybody. It's just there is a tendency in the market, and it's always in the fine print. So it's not that they naughty. It's not that they don't say they don't do it. They do. They advertise it as a fair usage policy. One of the biggest cell phone carriers in the country does that as well. You've got 200 gigs, and then after your 200 gigs, your speed starts. They throttle. They start limiting your speed. So again, they do advertise it. It's just hidden in the fine print. So for our clients,
very fine print.
Yeah,
very fine print.
Reading.
Yeah. So always look out for any company, any deal that says, and it's normally the very cheap deals. If you start checking in the market, and the average price is $1,200 more or less for 10 to a 15 meg line, and then all of a sudden somebody comes in with a 4 or 500 meg line, 500 rand for a 10 meg line. There's a reason why it's cheaper. There's a reason. There's always a reason with any product. You see, if there's 4 different coffees and 3 of them are 150 rand, and then there's one that's 70, there's a reason why it's cheaper.
It's naughty.
Stouter kabouter.
tea. It's definitely not coffee.
Yeah.
But recently, Arnu, moving on, I hope we have cleared the air on latency and packet loss and why it's actually important. Moving on, this is my favorite topic, so I'm handling this. Arnu, you recently started a Hunter's Mindset series. What is the motivation behind it? Why did you start it? And also, I just actually saw the latest episode and I've gone through it and I want more. I need.
It's good to know. Can everybody still hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So the Hunter's Mindset is for you. I'm making it for you. It's part of the Executive Customer Consultant training. So you've gone through all the courses. You finished up. The last one was your Senior Customer Consultant training. Now I want to take it a step further. And let's go through the mindset. And let's see what makes people really, really successful. So these courses are for you. I'm trying to go through all my experience and all my little anecdotes and all my mistakes that I made in my life and trying to stop you guys from making the same mistakes and trying to get your mindset right. Tans, you said you had a question about the latest one, which was as above, so below, as within, so without. What specifically did you want to know about that?
Okay, so in overall, if I am right, you correct me if I'm wrong. I believe it spoke in general about um, doing right unto others in all aspects in your life and making sure that whatever you do, regardless of how small it is, you do it right because it comes back now and it comes back. So I just wanted people to also get a little highlight of what is actually discussed in the episode because I believe it's something that is really important that we overlook a lot.
Okay, so basically, what I'm saying is judge not lest you be judged. But the thing is, you can't even judge people in your brain. You can't say bad things about people in your brain as you drive past them in your car or see them walk past you. Even that's going to have negative influences on you, negative consequences in life on you. What I mean is that if you do not tip well, for example, you are not going to receive your salary on time. Things like that is going to happen in your life. The small just mirrors the big. And generally be a good person. Judge not lest you be judged, because the one finger pointing out is a bunch pointing back at you. The as above, so below is like from a Hermetic script, which is like a philosopher and alchemists and all that. I wanted something similar from the Bible, which I could relate to. And that was judge not lest you be judged, because the same measure that you judge, you'll be judged right back. And I've noticed in my mind the amount of judging that I was doing, I had to catch it the whole time. Judging people on their cars and judging people on their homes and judging people on their cleanliness, their outfits, their hair color, everything. And I just stopped totally with that, and because everything just came back to me, Big Brother or whoever just sent that right straight back to me, and was a very, very difficult lesson to learn. I need you guys to learn that lesson also. How you do something is how you do everything. Is if you for example, work out in the gym for 5 minutes, you're gonna, any task that you try at work, you're only gonna do for 5 minutes. You're gonna lose interest. If you're not consistent with something, with a diet or whatever, you're not gonna be consistent with your energy levels and your work ethic and whatever. And people can take me on this, and people can judge me on this, but just be very, 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 very honest with yourself about this. Is how you do something, is how you do everything. It is a fact.
Yeah. So I just want to jump in there. Episode 2 of your mindset, Hunter's mindset, was the really opening up yourself. The heartfelt, yeah, your that was the
Dealing with
trauma
trauma.
one. Yeah, that
Mm-hmm.
was the 2. 3 was my favorite so far. The unfuck yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
then and then I must say this fourth one, I know I really resonate with that one because that's something that the two of us over the last 9 years
Mm-hmm.
have really since day one, with every single person that we get in touch with, be it a client, a supplier, a new employee, older employees. The one thing that we've always said in every single sentence somewhere that we come in contact with somebody is our intentions are pure. And if that's been one of the main mantras that I've picked up from you, and it's funny because that's what, if we take 2 episodes back, the story how we started our business, how we met. If our intentions weren't pure, um, I could have sent you a major invoice for the work I did, or you could have tried to wheel and deal, or our intentions were pure 100% from day one, that the two of us want to make money, we want to grow the business, and we want to
Mm-hmm.
give something back in the community. So our
Mm-hmm.
intentions have been pure since day one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very, very important. Very important. Very difficult.
Yeah,
It's
not easy.
very difficult.
When I started working here, I think the first place I went is to meet Mr. Paul. I just want us
Oh.
to introduce Mr. Paul and what happened to him.
So it's Mr. Pole, Pole. Shame. Ah, Mr. Pole. Mr. Pole. I don't know if everybody remembers the episode where the very first time we went to the Bombu Mountains, we actually put our stuff onto the army base. And the colonel or the brigadier, whoever went and ripped our power out, and how can we deface a public building? And we tried to drill through that thing, and it was like solid metal in between.
Reinforcing.
Reinforced. It was. It's bomb proof. It's a bomb proof room.
We
And
got
poor
through.
Matt, we
We
went
got
through. Matt probably replaced 3 drills, and then later he got a hammer drill, and he actually got through that metal. And we put our extension cord in, and then everything just went to rubbish. And then the farmer came, and the farmer was very, very nice with us, and he said, everybody makes mistakes, so you'll give us a piece of property for how long on the mountain? For a couple of
Yeah, he gave
months.
us the first 6 months.
Yeah, he gave us a long time. He said, okay, now choose your piece of land here, erect your stuff, and start doing business properly. And then we didn't have any money to put up a tower. So we took, those big pipes that you see on the golf course that the water runs in, those huge galvanized pipes. We
Yeah,
took them and twisted them together. It was like 2 meters plus 2 meters plus 2 meters. And then we looked for a fence line, the fence pole, and that
yeah,
fence pole was solid inside a big metal block on the farm. So the fence is running there, and then we took this pole and we tied it with wires and stuff, and
and
climbed it,
bolts
bolts
through.
in it,
Matt made
bolts
it
in it,
climbable.
and we called it pole. That was our very first tower. And then on top of pole, so pole went like that, and then we put a T-piece like that, and then all our equipment on the T-piece. And what we didn't think is if the wind comes, the wind blows it like that. So the whole pole was like turning around on itself. So then we had to put another bolt through the pole like that. And that thing we only took off last year.
Yeah,
Pole was still in commission, serving hundreds of clients until last year. We really made Pole fancy. We put some extra things on the sides. He looked like a alien guy with almost like the cross, and then all
yeah.
kinds of extra attachments and aluminium poles, and he was grounded and everything. So Pole served us well, and then we built a proper tower on the Bombu.
Listen, Paul's making a small little comeback on the
Oh
weekend.
yes,
Uh,
yes. Paul needs to
Paul,
be
Paul's gonna
sowing the.
be because we're moving our electricity and the battery packs
Mm,
into a new box cabinet that we built,
mm,
and for time being, Paul's gonna have to be commissioned for a day again while we
mm,
move stuff around. So
mm,
Paul's making a small little comeback just for a day.
mm. Yeah,
But
for
yeah,
a couple
then
of hours.
yeah.
Paul will be in action again. Thank you, Paul. We really appreciate you.
I read somewhere Paul symbolizes our growth and our evolution.
Evolution. So
Just
basically, yeah, basically you start how you can and build it up and make a plan. And but Paul is still like a symbol. I think one day when we have our big head offices with all the glass and aluminium and stuff, we're going to erect Paul in the middle as a statue.
In the middle of the building, yes,
Yeah.
with couches next to it around it.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is Paul. Yeah, that's going to be excellent. I'm glad I thought of that.
Mm.
I'm joking.
All right. So also, what I'm curious to know, what are some funny things that people have done that actually breaks their home Wi-Fi network? Like, what do people do that they
I don't think people do it deliberately. I
No.
don't think people do it deliberately. But for example, my boy Tabu had a wireless mouse
Yes.
and he put it on top of the router. This thing is Wi-Fi as well. And then our network went down. It wasn't a very special router. The new routers don't do it anymore. But in the beginning, that broke our network. So it's not deliberate, you know.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
Oh, well, Tandy, you're
Look,
asking about some of the funny ones. One that pops at the top of my head. So I think in the first year or so, we really rolling out installations in Mall of Park. And I think about 6 months in, we start getting a call and we
Mm.
send a technician out that the Wi-Fi, internal Wi-Fi signal is weak. And technician goes out, technician comes back, can't find the issue. I think 2 or 3 trips, and the client phones says, "Listen, you guys are trying, but they're not getting the issue." And myself and Arne, hold on, listen, we'll jump in the car, we'll come and have a look. Let's check. And as we get to the house, Dandy, I asked the lady, okay, where the issue is. So she takes us through to the patio, and she says from day one they was having a braai on the patio, they were playing their music, the Wi-Fi got there, no issue. And then all of a sudden it just stopped. It doesn't get there anymore. So the Wi-Fi is fine in the rest of the house, but it doesn't cover the patio anymore. And myself and Anu going through the house, we can't find the issue. Testing everything, rebooting everything, upgrading firmware, the whole shebang, everything. And the two of us went out for a cigarette, like a mini brainstorm session. How we're gonna figure this out because this is weird. And as we walk back and we went through the back door through the kitchen, I had a look and I asked the lady, was this fridge always there? And she says, no, they moved the fridge about, and she stops it about the same time as what the internet started giving issues. So there's a wall and a little counter on this side where the Wi-Fi router sits. And when we installed, the fridge wasn't on the other side of that wall. The fridge was somewhere else. And as you women do, you move things around to look different. And they moved the fridge on the other side of the wall. So the router was on this side of the wall and the fridge on the other side. And that fridge actually blocks the Wi-Fi signal. So that's why it was fine in the rest of the house, but it didn't carry all the way through to the patio anymore.
Mm-hmm. Another time they moved the router and put it on the microwave. So every time they started the microwave, the signal went away. Other client got a baby. Every time the baby screamed, the Wi-Fi signal went away, which is weird because the baby monitor started and the baby monitor's Wi-Fi, and then it interfered. The other time was very interesting. The client swore that we were jeopardizing the internet. We were sabotaging the internet because 9 o'clock every night the internet goes down. Every night 9 o'clock, and every morning 6 o'clock it comes back. How can that be possible? So Matt Sherlock Holmes goes through and starts asking questions. And I told him, Matt, just go through at 9. Honestly. So he goes through, talks to the client, and they're standing outside, and the kids come running, good night, gives daddy a hug, and they jump into bed. And Matt looks at this and he says, can I quickly just look in the kids' room? The main cable going to the router, from the radio to the router, was underneath the one leg of the bed. And as they jump on the bed, it gets squashed and the Wi-Fi goes off. In the morning, when they climb out of bed, the cable gets unsquashed and the Wi-Fi comes on. So when the kids went to bed, the Wi-Fi went off. We've had that many times.
We had the other one with the remote boosters.
The remote boosters. Also, the garage door. The garage door booster that broke people's Wi-Fi.
And then one of my favorites was the Wi-Fi cameras.
Yeah, the Wi-Fi cameras. Yes, that was interesting.
So we went out, checked everything. Everything looks fine. And then we can't find the issue. Everything on that's cabled is perfect. The Wi-Fi is just dead. So we actually ordered, and there was also very inexperienced in the beginning. So myself and Arne just decided, listen, we can't find this issue. Let's just order a new radio, a router. Maybe that's the issue. And we told the client, listen, we ordered you a new router. Everything, we wired everything. So his PlayStation, the television, everything is wired. So it's just the Wi-Fi that's giving an issue. And he says it's fine. They are going on holiday. They'll be back in like 4 or 5 days. So it's no issue. They came back, and luckily the client is also very IT savvy. Came back, and I think it was a Saturday or a Sunday. That Monday morning, we get a phone call. Listen, we can cancel the call. The Wi-Fi is fixed. And we're like, okay, what the hell? What happened? Like, very nice guy. We know him well. Says no. He had a Wi-Fi camera installation, and he was from the beginning telling us that's not the issue. That's not the issue. And while he was on leave, the power tripped. And as they came back, they switched their power on, but the Wi-Fi cameras weren't switched on. So they got home, Wi-Fi is working perfectly, switches the Wi-Fi cameras back on, cancels the Wi-Fi. And that was just a frequency setting. He changed the frequency on his Wi-Fi cameras, and then our Wi-Fi was working again.
We've had so many different weird scenarios.
I have a weird one. A mirror. They say a mirror can bounce back.
No, mirror definitely won't. The Wi-Fi signal is so strong, it'll just go straight through the mirror. Like a cell phone signal as well, it'll go straight through. What will bounce it back, Nooms, though, is if you have a Faraday cage. You know, when if your building has these reinforcements in the bricks, those metal reinforcements, those things create a cage. So like a car, when you're in a car and the lightning strikes the car, you don't get hit. You don't get hit by the lightning. So just like that, this cage will stop the signals from going through to the other rooms. So if you have like really thick walls with all this metal in, that stops. And we've had, for example, one of our clients has a big warehouse or a pack house. No Vodacom signal gets in there. Nothing, because they've got a Faraday cage.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what? A mirror could stop it if the back and the side of the mirror, you know these in these old houses, then it's like this fancy 16th century whatever borders around the mirror. If that's made of brass or copper and it's at the back, yes, that would block the Wi-Fi. Because that would be your Faraday cage. It would just be like a shield.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Everybody's also talking these days about building Faraday cages with your electronic equipment because there's solar flares. I don't know if you saw these aurora borealises. Those things hit out the electronic equipment. Any very sensitive equipment. So they say build Faraday cages and put your stuff in there. But yeah, that's just off the point now. That's something totally different.
All right. Now I've heard all the funny stories. Now I know not to move the furniture, to do nothing. And I'm one of those that loves switching around the furniture. Today it's here, tomorrow it's there.
Don't move your fridges. Don't move your fridges. Also, your hi-fi speakers have big magnets. Those things have an effect. Anything magnetic has an effect.
Okay, got it. All right, and I think I've got about one last question. You want to take this one because I remember you asking me about this actually.
Shoot.
All right, I'll take it. I see Newmsey might have forgotten. So I want to know, for those young entrepreneurs that are out there, or somebody looking to become what advice would you give them?
Don't do it. I'm joking. I'm joking. The very first thing is expect to be kicked in the balls for 10 years. It's going to take 10 years before you anywhere close where you want to be. Do not look short term. It's not going to take 6 months. It's not going to take 1 year. It's not going to take 3 years. It's not going to take 5 years. It's going to take 10 years before you have any measure of success comparable to anybody else out there and actually can make a proper living. Sorry, I just want to think the second one. There's a very, very important second one. The more difficult it is, the better chance you have of making a success. For example, Amazon started as an online store, bookstore. They started selling books. And they said it needs to be quick, it needs to be fast, it needs to be cheap. You need to get it very quick. So what did they do? Instead of using courier guy or the post office or whoever, they went and bought their own stuff. They went and bought their own planes, cars, trucks, warehouses, shipments. They handle all of that. Imagine the logistics with that. But Jeff Bezos knew that if he can do everything himself, we've got a typical example of one of the companies here, the banana farmers. They do everything themselves, everything from the plastic bags, manure. The more difficult it is, the more success you will have. So if you see somebody say, I'm going to start this business, but that sounds really, really complex and difficult, do it, go. It probably will take a bit longer, but nobody else is going to do it. They're just going to give up.
What does Alex Hormozy is one of the big things that he preaches, if you call it preaching, but consistency. Starting a business, being consistent, grinding it out, putting in the hard yards over and over, the kick in the nuts, getting up, facing the world. Let's make a new plan. And you roll with the punches. I think we've been hit with a few things that it's like we don't
End
have
of the
money
world
for
things.
this right now. It's end of the world things, and you roll with the punches. You make a plan and you move money around and you get it done.
The thing is, as well, is it's all about your product. The product needs to be the best, and that's what takes the most time. It'll probably take you 5 years just to get a decent product out there, which is sellable. Because remember, you have to sell that. That's how you start making money. And your salespeople need to trust the product. And if they don't trust the product, how are they going to sell it? Exactly. Andy Frisella is one of the big American supplement companies, First Form. It took him almost 2 years just to make a shake. He tasted the shake. He got the scientists in the shake when he threw the water in, and it didn't dissolve properly. Then when it dissolved properly, it was too watery. It needed to be thicker and creamier and foamier. And then he looked at the nutrition, and the nutrition wasn't good. Then he looked at the ingredients. The ingredients had some heavy metals because the stuff that they used to chop up the whey protein, little slivers of metal got chopped up in there under a microscope. You could see it, not good. Went on and went on and went on. After 2 years, he released his protein shake. After everything was perfect, and only then he really started climbing and going and doing well. So everything is about having an excellent, really, really good product. Otherwise, it's not going to sell. If you can sell something and fool the market, and then do another product and sell something, fool the market, and just go on like that. But some other stage, the world's going to get too small for you. Everybody's going to know you a Shylock. I'm not going to mention names yet, but there's so many online companies and celebrities and people, influencers, that are just blatantly copying the real guys. And it's a pity. I'll never, ever buy something from a guy called, with the initials DL. And his surname means to turn a key, and it rhymes with lock. That guy has ripped off so many people. Do you know what bugger that? Dan Locke. He's ripped off so many courses and products and stuff. And if anybody can prove me wrong, please do. It's out there, and I see he's got millions of followers. It's not right what he's doing. He actually went and he copied a course of Alex Chaffin. He copied Alex Chaffin's course word for word for word for word, and he was sued and he was taken to court. And yeah, so the thing is, you must have a proper product that's yours, uniquely yours, that you sell and that's good and that works and that adds value. And one more tip, I want to give one more tip. Do not go and try get ideas for products and services. Lots of young guys come to me and I ask them, how's the business going? No, they haven't really got an idea yet. Look for problems. Don't look for ideas. Go look for problems. What's the problem out in the market? A stupid thing. How much of this sugar cane stalks are lying on the ground all along the road? I'm sure if you get a way to gather that efficiently, you'll be able to have 100 hectares worth of sugarcane stalks in one day. If that's a problem, it's lying on the road, it's going to waste. If somebody can solve that problem, yeah, that'll be a good business to be in. Also, I know I'm rambling, but don't have multiple services and multiple products. You're losing focus. You need one thing, just one thing in the right market, big enough so people can pay for it and you can make enough money out of it. Warren Buffett always mentions that he had a friend at university with him, and this guy went into steel and Warren Buffett went into stocks. The guy became rich, but not $438 billion rich. And he said it was just his boat that Warren was in, Warren Buffett. The boat was just a better boat, a bigger boat. He could grow it, where the steel company just petered out and kept small. And then finally, do not lose momentum. You can never lose momentum. You can never stop and start, stop and start. Yes, I mean, you can go on holiday, but you can't stop for 6 months and then come back and stop for a year and come back. You need to keep your momentum.
Awesome.
Noted. Okay, and I think that's all for today's episode. I don't know if I've lost it somewhere or I forgot something, but one thing join tribe. The tribe is not just for us, the personnel or staff as they call it, but it is also for our clients. And that is at members. I don't know if you can help me out here. It's
members.techconnect.africa. And then you need to, what I'm going to do is the first 5 new members, I'm going to give some swag. I'm going to give some techCONNECT t-shirts and some caps. And I'm automatically going to make you a member of the new ECC, Executive Customer Consultant Training. I'll give that for free because it's going to cost the people, if you're not a client of techCONNECT, it's going to cost money. So I'll give that for free as well for 3 months.
Awesome.
Right. So there's freebies.
So join our tribe.
Awesome.
I believe
there's a lot to learn.
And always kill those myths by going on ineedinternet.co.za. Do not
100%.
All right. Good evening, guys. Bye.
Thank you, guys. Have a good evening. Love you all.
Awesome.
See you tomorrow.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye.